So let's go ahead and start this live right now. So we did a live last night, and last night it was more, we were going over every single movie coming out in 2023, everything we were anticipating. You can check out that live now. It should be up on the channel. Today we're just focusing on the horror side of things and our top most anticipated horror movies of 2023. And I have a couple of them on here. I can't fit all of them because that would be so many horror movies, but what a year was in 2022 for horror, and what a year it's looking for 2023, as I've already seen a couple of the horror movies that are about to come out in the coming week. We have Megan already, which is one I'm going to be checking out on Tuesday. So everybody joining us here, really appreciate you joining. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe. We are still funding our horror movie on Indiegogo. Check it out if you can. But yeah, we are definitely excited to talk about horror movies right now. So I'm just going to go ahead and put on the chat our Indiegogo as well. So if anybody wants to check it out, sharing and everything goes a long way. But let's get started on this list that we have here. And that is Megan is our first one we're checking out. So I'm going to go see this at a screening on Tuesday, and I'm definitely excited for this one. I think that we are going to get something special, very campy, very good, and I'm ready for this 100%. Let me check my audio real quick. Okay, we're good. So Megan is going to be coming to us next week already. It's crazy, right? We're already finishing off the year, and right off the bat, Blumhouse is like, here you go, some Megan fun. So Megan is one of those movies that I am excited for. It looks very interesting. Jason Blum also said that they had been working with this with the Malignant writer, and the fact that we're getting this is exciting nonetheless. So Megan is one of those movies that we are definitely excited for. And my light just turned off there, so I guess the spooky vibes are starting off just right. So Megan is definitely a movie we're checking out. I will be making a video about my expectations and everything. I'll make a video watching it and then a short review on it as well, so that way you know if you should be checking it out or not. But I'll be giving reviews for all of these movies for sure. So Megan is next up. Next we have Knock at the Cabin, which is based on a book. Knock at the Cabin is one of my most anticipated movies. We did a trailer breakdown explanation type deal going on the channel. I am going to be reading the book before the movie comes out, which it comes out on February 3rd. And this movie just looks incredible. I think Dave Bautista, Rupert Grint, M. Night Shyamalan all together, it is going to deliver something great. M. Night Shyamalan, of course, is known for these twists and turns, and I'm excited for him to get this movie out. He does have a show right now on Apple TV, if you haven't seen it, called Servant, and Servant is one of those shows I feel is very underrated. It deals with cults and all of these things. It's on Apple TV right now. The final season is coming out in 2 weeks as well, so I'm excited to finally check that out. But you can catch up on all the seasons and probably binge it if you want. Servant, just try it out if you want to. It's on Apple TV. Very good cast, very strong show, and I'm excited for this one. So Knock at the Cabin, like I said, looks really good. I'll be reading the book starting next week, and I'll be discussing it here as well on the channel and everything that we can look forward to from it. Next up, we have Scream 6. Now, I was a big fan of Scream 5. I talked about this last night on the live, that Scream 5 was one of those movies that I had really high expectations for. And overall, I did enjoy it, but I really feel like Scream 6 is going to be that one that's going to be special. And I'm excited for it for sure. We already have a poster, we have a trailer, and it just looks great. Everybody involved in this as well looks amazing. Samara Weaving in it as well is something that I'm excited for, and so many speculations and theories coming out. I will have a video on my theories on Scream 6 because I have some more theories, but I already did one video if you want to go check that out. But Scream 6 looks really good, honestly. I'm excited for this one. The fact that we're putting Ghostface in a place we've never seen him before, a big city, and New York at that, it really has me pumped up to see how they're gonna change things with this one. So very, very excited for Scream 6, which comes out in March. Now, we have another film right here that I am also excited for, which is Evil Dead Rise, which you can see I have one of the photos here, and I'm just like, I need the Evil Dead Rise trailer already. We've gotten so many photos, so much talk about it, and I'm just ready for it. So I talked about it last night on the live where I was just like, I am ready for Evil Dead Rise, because just like I said with Ghostface, we're changing the settings, we're changing the pace of everything. Evil Dead Rise is doing just that. We are going out of the cabin, out of the woods, out of secluded areas into a high-rise apartment building with the Deadites, and I think that is definitely going to be something special that we haven't seen before. I'm excited for this one. I don't know exactly how it's been testing, but I'm very curious to see why they pushed it till next year. This was supposed to come out this year, but it got pushed to next year, like I said, and I'm curious to see exactly what they're delivering with this one. Sam Raimi, I think, did an amazing job with the Evil Dead franchise, and I'm hoping here we get some clarification as to where we go from the previous movie, which was done by Fede Alvarez, which was a remake, if that has any connection, because we're all still waiting for Bruce Campbell to make an appearance again as Ash. We'll see if that happens here, but Evil Dead Rise looks really good, and that comes out in April. Next, we have Insidious 5, and Insidious 5 was a movie I completely forgot about. I was talking about it last night on the live where I was going over all of the movies from 2023 that are coming out that I'm excited for. And Insidious 5 comes out in July. And last night on the live, I said, when a horror movie comes out in the summer, there is a lot of confidence in it. People are excited. The studios are excited. They know they have something special in their hands if they're going to give a horror movie such a coveted slot in the release time, because the summer is usually just for blockbusters. Studios know this, and they only want to release big movies that are going to do good. So the fact that Insidious 5 has a slot in July means they have high hopes for this one, and I'm excited for it as well. Patrick Wilson directing on here, Patrick Wilson returning, and we'll see how this one goes. So I'm excited for this movie right here, and like somebody said last night, excited to get back into the Insidious universe, and we're also getting back into the Conjuring universe this coming year with The Nun 2, which comes out later this summer, next summer, and that is exciting news as well, because I think The Nun was a very underrated film. Like, it definitely had some pretty good scares. I know the story and everything, some people didn't like it or enjoy it as much, but I think that the first Nun is pretty decent at scaring you, and I'm excited to see what they want to do with The Nun 2. I think Valak is one of the most very scary looking monsters we've had in recent time, whether you feel about the story or not. I think the design and everything is very haunting and ghastly, so I'm excited for The Nun 2. We'll see how it goes, how it connects to The Conjuring. Let me know. Any of your favorite horror movies that you're looking forward to in 2023, comment them as well. I'm curious to know what they are. So another one of the more lighthearted movies coming out next year is The Haunted Mansion from Disney. I am a fan of the Eddie Murphy Haunted Mansion. I used to love watching that when I was young, and I am excited for this one right here, which is The Haunted Mansion coming to us, having Owen Wilson, Danny DeVito, Rosario Dawson, also Lakeith Stanfield in it. I am very, very excited to see what they have cooked up for us with this one and where exactly we're going to go from here. Next up, of course, is another movie that I am anticipating and excited for some time now after hearing about it, and that is the Exorcist reboot of sorts, soft reboot, whatever you want to call it. This comes to us from David Gordon Green, and I know that's already going to cause controversy, because I know after the whole debacle that was Halloween Ends this year, this movie, once it gets closer to release, it's going to have some very much so people saying, I'm not watching that if it's David Gordon Green attached. And hey, I understand if people didn't enjoy Halloween Ends. I found it okay, and I did enjoy it for the most part. I was a little skeptical about David Gordon Green coming into The Exorcist, but after watching what he did with Halloween Ends, I feel like he could be sort of at a better play with The Exorcist, which is more of a drama in my opinion than Halloween being more of a slasher film. So I think that him adding the drama that he has from his previous movies and experience can be good for The Exorcist. We'll see how this one does. Leslie Odom Jr. will be in this movie as well, so I always like seeing him in movies. I'm excited to see what type of character he will be playing in The Exorcist, so we'll see what happens with that. Now, we have Saw 10 as well. Remember back in the day they used to say it's not Halloween if Saw's not coming out? Well, next year Saw is coming out, so brace yourself for Saw 10 as we get into a very, very interesting story, because we're going to be having John Kramer returning after a long absence. So I'm excited about that. No word exactly about where the story is going to go, what it's following, or any of that. We're pretty sure it might serve as a prequel of sorts or in between two movies. And that's been the sort of rumor. Take that with a grain of salt that it takes place between two movies, because apparently Amanda might be returning in this one. So I'm excited for that. I cannot wait to see what they want to do with Saw 10. Salem's Lot is another movie we were supposed to get this year, which is a reboot remake of the original Salem's Lot. And if you know anything about Salem's Lot, you know that we're going to get something special with this Salem's Lot reboot that's supposed to be coming out. Now, that was supposed to come out this year in the summer, and it got pushed to 2023 because 2022, let's face it, was already pretty jam-packed with a ton of movies. So I definitely see why they wanted to move some movies over into the next year and definitely serve some space up right there. But Salem's Lot looks really good. I'm excited for it. I cannot wait. I definitely do think that we are going to be getting some very, very interesting movies coming out next year, because a lot of reboots, remakes, soft reboots, whatever you want to call them. It looks like horror really is also shifting, as we saw movies this year like Barbarian and Smile, Maxine. Well, not Maxine, but we'll talk about Maxine actually now that I remember. But Pearl and X. They're showing that horror doesn't just have to be reboots, doesn't just have to be franchises. It can be new and exciting stuff. But another horror movie, now this one I'm not too sure if it's coming out next year. Some people are saying 2024, but I would hope it's next year, is Maxine, which is the sequel to X, and of course would finish the trilogy of X and Pearl. Mia Goth, of course, will be returning, and this already got a little teaser announcement from A24. Although they don't give off much, they do tell us that this is definitely going to be taking place in Hollywood, which is exciting to see that be sort of a new setting for this character. And I enjoyed Pearl, I enjoyed X. They're one of my favorite movies of the year, so I'm excited to see where the Maxine character that we saw last in X is going from here, because I really do think we're going to be getting something very special once this trilogy ends. Ty West and Mia Goth are really going to deliver, I feel, so 100% excited for that. Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, the movie that we never thought would be coming, is finally coming next year. I think it has like a February release date, and I'm excited for that for sure. I think that that is going to be one of the most interesting movies of next year, and one that's going to have people talking the most. As you know, Winnie the Pooh went back into the public domain, so now these people went ahead and got the rights, and they made a horror movie based on Winnie the Pooh. There's a poster, there's a trailer. Check it out if you haven't heard about it. It is crazy and something we never thought we would see, but there is a Winnie the Pooh slasher coming out next year, in a couple of months actually, so that's pretty interesting right there. Now we also have Shelby Oaks. Shelby Oaks is a film by Chris Stuckman, who I very much so would say is a big influence for me on this channel and everything. So I'm excited to see what he's finally going to deliver to us from his film he is making and currently, I think, editing as we speak. So we're definitely excited to see what Chris Stuckman is going to deliver with that. But like I said, a lot of good horror movies coming out next year. Very excited for a lot of this. Let me see some of the ones I might have missed right here. So we have VHS 85, which is also another one in the VHS franchise. We just had VHS 99, which I enjoyed. But VHS 99 comes to us with various directors, including David Bruckner, Scott Derrickson, Gigi Saul Guerrero, Natasha Kermani, and Mike P. Nelson. So I'm a fan of the VHS franchises. I know they're not for everybody, but me, I definitely do enjoy them. So I'm excited to see what exactly we're going to be getting with this new VHS movie, and we'll see what happens. We then have Renfield, which is a horror comedy directed by Chris McKay, and we will have Nicholas Hoult as Renfield and Nicolas Cage as Count Dracula. And this one sounds interesting. Comedy horror, I think, is always a good thing, and I'm excited to see what exactly it's going to be all about. But yeah, those were some of the horror movies that are coming up in 2023. Let me know which ones are you most excited for if you're watching this live, or whenever you watch it, comment it down below. We definitely will be talking more about all of these horror movies. You know, we are the horror. Pretty much that's what our channel is, all that we talk about for the most part. And for a long time, I was wondering, should I just rebrand as a horror movie channel? But I do love to talk about other movies, so I was like, no, we'll just be a majority horror. But we'll definitely talk more about some other movies as well. So if I'm gonna rate what I'm most excited for, it is definitely, we actually have another horror movie that I missed right here, which is Beau is Afraid, which is Ari Aster's latest film with Joaquin Phoenix and we don't know much about this movie. It's labeled here as a comedy horror, so I'm curious to see exactly how that's going to be done. I do believe that this is going to be a movie that's over about 3 hours long so far, so I'm curious to see what Ari Aster delivers. He did one of my favorite horror movies of all time, which is Hereditary. Then he went on to do Midsommar, and now we are getting Beau is Afraid. So I'm curious to see what exactly Ari Aster has cooked up for us. I do want to go over back into my old videos I've done on Ari Aster films like Midsommar, Hereditary. We need to talk about the Johnsons and redo those videos because I feel like I didn't have as much insight back then, and I do want to talk about them as well. So we'll definitely be going over those, but very, very solid year for horror next year. I already went ahead and did a video on my on some of the movies that are coming out next year. Overall, last night we did a live talking about that. If y'all want to go check that out, definitely would recommend doing that. But overall, we're excited for this. Let me know which horror movies you're most excited for. We do want to do more lives in the coming year. So we have a lot of plans as well that we're going to be talking about tomorrow on a video. I think that we're just going to title Updates to the Channel for 2023, where we're going to be adding a lot of segments, new stuff, and all of that. Sundance is next year as well, so we do have a movie coming out, Infinity Pool, which I haven't talked about right now, but it is another horror movie by Brandon Cronenberg, who is the son, of course, of Cronenberg. And Brandon Cronenberg has this movie with Mia Goth, Alexander Skarsgård, where we basically have these two couples that go to this retreat of sorts, and some very weird stuff starts to happen. I don't want to get too much into it here because I think it's best just to watch the trailer, or just know that it's basically like human cloning and all of this, and it gets pretty weird. So definitely check out the trailer for Infinity Pool because it is a very, very interesting trailer, and I am excited to check that out at Sundance in a month. So we'll definitely be updating y'all all the stuff on Sundance as well. There's some other horror movies from Sundance as well, which I do want to talk about. So we'll be talking and making another video about Sundance, just Sundance. So stay tuned for that video, probably coming out on Monday. We'll do a live about that. So make sure you're subscribed and notification bell on, because we're going to be discussing some of the movies that we're excited to check out from that. But yeah, like I said, I'm very, very excited for Beau is Afraid. I'm excited for Evil Dead Rise. I'm excited for Infinity Pool. I'm excited for Knock at the Cabin, Insidious Fear of the Dark, Scream 6, Saw 10, Shelby Oaks, The Exorcist, The Nun 2, VHS 85, and just so many good things, honestly, are coming in 2023. And I'm excited to cover them all here on the channel. But like I said, let me know your thoughts, your opinions, your favorite horror movie. Which one are you most excited for? What was your favorite horror movie of the year for 2022? And also, if you haven't already, check out our Indiegogo. We are currently trying to fund right now our horror movies, so I left it in the chat. I'll leave it in the description as well. We have had a couple of donations and stuff, but we are always trying to get to our goal, so really would appreciate any help, any share, all of that. And yeah, we'll be talking more about the future of the channel, the segments that are coming tomorrow, because starting next week we're going to have more segments, more lives, and all of that. So very excited for these announcements as we are growing the brand and the channel. So y'all are early in, and y'all are going to enjoy it. So very much so, go ahead and subscribe, go ahead and turn that notification bell on. Happy New Year to everybody, and I'll see all